You're watching The Project, welcome back.
Now, their lives were torn apart the moment their loved one was murdered, but what's happened since is even worse, and they need your help.
On the surface, life appears to be idyllic for Fiona Splitt and her children in far north Queensland. But it hides a nightmare they've been living ever since their husband and father, Bruce, was murdered in July 2012.
He loved the bush. Put Bruce in a car park, he'd get lost. Put him in the bush, he'd find his way home. You know, initially we thought, oh, if he's hurt, he will get out. But he didn't.
Mum rang me and I knew something was wrong because she always says, "Are you sitting down?" And then she just said he'd gone missing and I just thought he'd got lost. And then I had to go up to Mariba to sort of make it seem real, I guess. Yeah.
Bruce Schuler was gold prospecting with some mates on a remote Cape York cattle station when he was shot dead. The station's owners, Stephen Struber and his wife, Diane Wilson Struber, were found guilty of his murder. Both have appealed the verdict and their life sentence. Bruce's body has never been found.
I still think he's going to turn up. Because I've had no closure, I can't give up looking, you know, round the corner. Oh, maybe Bruce is there.
Now, Fiona and her extended family have started a petition demanding convicted killers stay behind bars until they tell authorities where victims' remains are. It's called No Body, No Parole, and authorities in other states are listening. Victoria's Liberal opposition has made the law official party policy. South Australia's gone one step further.
If you know where the body is, or the police are satisfied that you know where the body is, you will not come out. You will spend your rest of your life in prison.
South Australia recently passed laws meaning prisoners serving life sentences who refuse to reveal the whereabouts of their victims won't get out of jail until they do.
The provisions are designed to help police solve murders, but also to bring peace to those victims, the families of victims of crime.
But some legal experts say giving convicted killers an incentive to confess more details of their crimes doesn't always work, like in the case of notorious outback killer Bradley John Murdoch.
He's currently in a Northern Territory prison. He desperately wants to go to a Western Australian prison, and the authorities there told him he could go to a Western Australian prison if he just told them where Peter Falconio's body is, and yet he hasn't done so.
Murdoch has always maintained his innocence, and in cases of wrongful convictions, a no body, no parole law could prove disastrous.
The example that comes to mind there is Lindy Chamberlain, who would have been ineligible for parole because she was unable to say where Azaria Chamberlain's body was. The reason she couldn't say that is because she has no idea.
None of which is much comfort to Bruce Schuler's family. They treasure the little pieces of gold he found. But not being able to farewell him gnaws away at them each day. And it's why they say the law should be changed.
Could never stop.
I don't think we
You
will
just
stop.
got to keep doing everything you can until he's home, and not only for us, but for other families as well.
We've felt helpless for 3 years.
Yeah.
This is the only thing we've been able to do to actually get somewhere with it, you know. We weren't allowed to go out and search. We weren't allowed to do anything, and this is the only thing we can do.
It'd be hard to disagree with that, wouldn't it? I mean, you will have cases where people who are murderers are suffering from mental incapacity and perhaps wouldn't be able to remember or are
wrongly
incapable.
convicted in the case of the Chamberlain.
Or the Chamberlain case. But in general terms, as long as there's some safeguards there, I think I have great sympathy for that family.
Right, you can't not have sympathy with them, you have to have sympathy for it. I should point out the petition is on the Queensland website, the Queensland Government website. It has 2,800 signatures at the moment. It closes on the 27th of January next year. But only Queenslanders can sign it, so if you're interested, you can go there.
It's time for another break now. Stay with us.